Yet another Empire Records label rapper dies mysteriously and no one blinks an eye. Sad Frosty was a Houston based rapper and honestly I did not even know about him or his death. But I made a video 2 weeks ago about all the suspicious deaths of the Empire Records rappers. And now this happens. It hasn't even been more than 1 month since Drakeo the ruler died, and now we have this. And before him we had young Dolph, and before him we had King Von, and the list goes on. At this point it's not a coincidence anymore. The common denominator between all these deaths is the fact that they were all signed to Empire Distribution. Mr. Shami has some explaining to do. What's crazy is that the cause of his death is still unknown and he died a week ago. How is that possible? Do they not have his body? Or if they do, how can they not find out how he died? What's interesting is that he's got a picture where it says on his hoodie, killed. Of course it says something before that as well, but the most visible part is the killed one, and he's holding a chain with a $sign inside there. It's almost as if it's saying that he's going to be killed in the future for money. This is the same as when young Dolph had that picture of him holding that bag and it said RIP before his death. Of course the whole picture or the bag actually said rip me open. It was a new bag or something, but the part that was most visible and the picture that was going around, it clearly said RIP. And then of course young Dolph passed away as well. If you're still watching this video, please hit the like button. So the main question is this: why are so many of Empire Distribution artists dying? Someone said, oh, because all these rappers are in the streets. Yes, no. This label is not the only label that has street rappers, and I don't even think Sad Frosty was a street kind of guy. He doesn't seem it. Again, I don't know enough about him to comment on that, but he doesn't seem like a street guy to me. But even if he was, that's not really a good explanation. Every label or every rap label has street rappers in there, but for some reason it's always Empire Records' artists dying. There's a whole idea that some of these rappers are worth more dead than alive, and in fact I would even go as far as saying that most of the rappers are going to make the labels more money once they have passed away than when they are alive. I think this is factual and it's been proven many times by now. Every time a rapper passes away, their sales numbers and their stream numbers skyrocket. Especially if a rapper is not making a label that much money, you could see why they would consider this option. There's also another idea that a lot of these rappers are signed to the label and then they are made to fake their deaths so they can make money off of this shit. Honestly, this idea seems a bit far-fetched to me, especially when it comes to big rappers such as young Dolph and XXX and King Von. However, I can definitely see that happening with people or rappers like Sad Frosty. I'm a good example of this. I did not know about him, so even if he was in front of me and even he had supposedly died, I wouldn't know that this guy is meant to be dead. Whatever the reason, there's definitely something fishy going on at Empire Records label. This is crazy. Every few months one of their artists just drops dead and no one questions it. I literally looked up for sources where, you know, official sources or blogs that actually talk about how all these deaths are connected to Empire Distribution Records label, yet there's no talk of it. The only time you hear this type of talk is on YouTube by independent YouTubers. I don't believe that all these blog sites and all these official media channels on YouTube are so slow that they cannot connect the dots that everyone else is making on social media and on YouTube. Other smaller platforms and other bigger platforms will talk on stuff like this. At this point, it's obvious that there's a blatant effort to not talk about this and to not make the connection that we are making in this video. Empire Records label has explaining to do. I don't care. I do not buy the official narrative or the general narrative that the reason all these rappers are dying is because they are in the streets. All these other rappers on other record labels are also on the streets, but you don't see their artists dropping dead. Come on, That's a weak excuse and weak reasoning. What's sad about the situation is that, as I called in my previous video before Sad Frosty's death, this is not going to be the last Empire artist's death. There's going to be another one. Sadly, I'm out. Peace.